Welcome to the AngelsWin.com podcast, featuring AngelsWin.com founder Chuck Richter. And now, here's Chuck Richter.
Good afternoon, wherever you may be. We're coming to you on this Friday, just enjoying the success of the Angels season thus far. Today, I'm welcomed from LAA Angels UK, Nick Wright, the ambassador for Angels baseball in the UK. Nick, how you doing?
I am doing good, Chuck.
Of course, you're beaming, dude.
What a perfect time to be recording this, eh? I mean, like, fired up.
Yeah, dude. I mean, we were just talking, before we started this recording. We're jonesing, man. We're ready for the game to start already, and it's like this has been a wild ride. And it's everybody said that this team looked different and the vibe feels different from people that were in camp this spring. And you hear that every year, right? Players come to the, in the best shape of their life, in spring training. You always hear a bunch of hype and stuff. But this team, man, I mean, Ron Washington had to go through the ringer. I mean, last year was a tough season for the club, for him, for fans, obviously. But it feels like after he's had 1 year under his belt with this team, they're all like a cohesive unit, dude. I mean, the whole cell phone rule, getting rid of the cell phones. Trout mentioning how the whole team is on one group chat. Like literally everybody on the team is in one text group chat. Just, there's just the way that they're playing, they're coming from behind, which, dude, I know people are going to hate me saying this, but it just brings shades of 2002, man. And I'm not saying that's going to happen this year, but, there was a lot of comeback victories. That was the birth, that's really when, the rally monkey started rearing its head and, and stuff. So, this has been fun to see. The Angels, I mean, the whole spring, they didn't really hit a lot of home runs. But, dude, they're third in the entire league, second behind the Yankees with 24 home runs. I mean, granted, a lot of those home runs have been hit in Tampa the last few days. But, man, they're just making really good contact. And we'll go over some of the players and highlight them a little bit later. But what are your thoughts, Nick? I mean, I've done a lot of talking. What are your thoughts about the team thus far?
I think the same as you. I try not to listen too much to this is different, this spring's different, everyone's in great shape, the vibes are great, the clubhouse is great, because we do hear that every spring. It's just a standard thing that players say and teams say and managers say just to try and get their guys hyped up, I think, for the season and try and set the tone for the year ahead. But as you said, pushing that all aside, it does look different. It does feel different. It does seem like this is the most united group of Halos players I've ever seen, and extremely talented as well. And what I'm loving is some of like the group shots, when they're on the field before the game, they all look like they're having fun. Mike Trout coming there in the middle, lying down. It's like Daddy Trout, isn't it? And all his kids there. He just seems to be like leading these guys. And we'll talk about Mike later. That's what it feels like. I feel like Mike is that veteran presence and that absolute superstar who we know and love. He's got these guys together, and it feels like they're all meshing well and gelling and just having a great time out there. And so I feel like I am getting a great sense of unity and cohesion, and that will carry the team a long way because times will get tougher. I mean, as we've seen, we've had some comeback victories and we've had some tough games to start, but the injuries haven't really started yet. Some of the downsides, a couple losing games in a row, that's when you start seeing the adversity and how this team will tackle it. But I just feel like at this stage, those vibes are so good that they should be able to handle it.
Yeah, and one of the things that coming into this season is the Angels added some good veteran, presence in players that have been on winning ball clubs like Jorge Soler. They desperately needed to fill that gap they lost from Ohtani. They never really did at DH, right? So now we got that slugger in the middle of the lineup, but it's the youth, man. And it's like the way Logan O'Hoppy's coming out of the gate, and we'll talk more about him and then Kyren Paris and Nolan Schanuel is hitting the ball much harder. I mean, I think he's hitting darn near, 300, and getting on base. And dude, we're not even talking. Zach Neto isn't even on the team yet. And it's like, And it's just wild that's that extra piece that we're going to get to this lineup that's already flourishing, right? And you're also seeing the starting pitching do well. And going into the season, I didn't really have any high hopes for Kyle Hendricks. I didn't have Tyler Anderson's always kind of been meh to me. I mean, he's just a serviceable arm, but I don't know. I don't like soft tossers, dude.
Me
You know,
neither. Me neither. Never have.
and but dude, if those guys can give us solid innings with the way the lineup is producing, holy hell, dude, our freaking bullpen. I talked about this on our podcast a few weeks back before my trip to Vietnam, that the bullpen is just, I mean, it looks incredible. And you look at every single team that's successful that either makes the playoffs or goes deep into the playoffs and into the World Series, they all have a solid bullpen. And we're seeing that, man, and it's exciting. I mean, heck, dude, if Reed Detmers can be that guy, that rubber arm that can come in and give us 2-3 innings in a game, we need that, right? I mean, we've dealt with Jose Suarez over the years doing that. It just drove me crazy, man. And just Zephyr John and Joyce and Burke and Kenley Jansen. Oh my gosh, that save the other night. My mind is still blown, dude.
One of the best I've ever seen.
Dude, I mean, we've all seen some historic saves in postseason play, but this was by far, in my 40 plus years of watching baseball, the best regular season save I've seen in my life. I mean, dude, the way he called the manager and the infielders to the mound and said, "This is the way I'm going to run this bitch, guys." I mean, I don't give a shit about that runner on base. Let him go. Let him go. I'm striking this mofo out right at the plate, and I got this game. That was badass.
It was incredible. And that reminded me, I know we've got a few cricket fans on Angels Win, and it reminded me of what you'd see in a cricket, and a dominant bowler would set his field and say, look, this is where I want guys because this guy is mine. I'm going to get him out, and I'm going to put you there. And I don't care if he's running there because I'm going to get him out. And that's what it just was. I mean, just everything you hear about Kenley, like everything we've seen of him in the past, just an absolute beast. And all closers go through some down spells, don't they? We know at some point he will blow a couple of games. But you just can't get on his back because I think the way he performed then, the veteran presence he has for those young guys in the pen, and just, you can see he's a winner. He wants to win. Like what it meant to him getting, say, 450. But also, I think he was just closing out a game. He just genuinely has that fire and passion that we all want to see from our players, don't we? That's what you want from a bullpen arm. You want to see a guy that has that, just that desire to go out there and do his job to the best of his ability and get the win. That's what he did. And I loved it. And you said the rotation so far, I'm still not sold on. It's the one bit I'm not sold on, but Tyler Anderson, completely agree with you. I don't particularly like him. But if he can become from where he was last year, which was like a number 2 or number 3 guy, and he can be the number 5 guy in the rotation, then great. He is a perfectly acceptable number 5. If Soriano can continue on his trajectory, which is to the top, if Kohanowitz can keep this going, if Kikuchi can settle in and be a 2 or 3, I mean, which he's being paid to do, then you've got 3 guys there. You can go into games and you have a very good chance of winning. I mean, Hendricks probably won't keep this up all year. He's going to, again, as you say, with the soft tossers, sometimes they're going to get hit. Sometimes you're going to get sat on. But he's a wily veteran presence. He's going to be great for these young guys as well. So I like where they're at. I'm wary about if it's sustainable. Promise. Lots of promise.
Yeah, that's fair. And dude, I mean, you look at Jose Soriano and the guy has ace type stuff.
Yeah.
And that's our guy. And then you look at Kohanowitz, dude. The guy is a sinker baller. He knows what he is. Yeah. And he's starting to strike a little bit more guys out this season, which he didn't have last year, even though he ran off that quality start, consecutive quality start streak. What was it? 6 straight quality starts, right? So, I mean, this is our youth, dude. This is from our farm system, and I love to see it. And you know, if Kikuchi and Hendricks and Tyler Anderson and Kohanowitz just give us quality starts, and then we got that one ace in Jose Soriano, that's good enough, dude. I mean, hell, that's better than the 2002 rotation. The 2002 rotation was not great. I mean, It was, I mean, granted, Lackey came in mid-season and he was amazing. But Washburn was really a number 3, but anyway, so it's just, they have all these components, man, of just being in their depth that they have in AAA and in AA is much more robust than the Angels have ever had. Think about this.
Yeah.
The talent that they have in AAA, whether it's former major leaguers or guys on the cusp, guys that can come right in, we've never had that. The Angels have not had that type of talent that they can call on guys if there's an injury. And that's going to be another boon to the Angels' continued success this season.
I agree. I mean, we've seen a bit of a up and down already with the arms and Ryan Johnson coming up straight from the minors.
Yeah.
Straight from college into the majors. But you're right. I mean, it seems like Perry has built a farm system with so many arms in there, and it feels like we do have players that can now make that step up when we need them and when the injuries happen. And same on the position side. You said we still got Zach Neto in AAA. He's going to be such a boon to this lineup. Yeah. But on Kahanowitz, and I loved what Travis d'Arnaud did. He's a sinkable pitcher. When the sinker was getting hit on that opening weekend in Charlotte, what do you do? Throw the four-seamer. Just throw it up there. Started striking people out. Started getting out. Settled into the game. Gave us another quality start. That's what that veteran presence does, right? And that's why I love that Perry's brought together this youth movement, as you say, players coming up through the system. And then he's just brought in some guys. Not big names. Not like the huge names. Not huge money. But just guys that can complement what we've got. And that's why I think we've started so well.
Yeah. And, and I said coming into the season that the Angels needed 1, 2, maybe even 3 guys that needed to step up and just be that surprise player. Every team that has made it deep into the postseason, including the 2002 Angels, started the season without a couple guys that later these guys got called up from the farm or that weren't counted on, right? And they became major contributors. K-Rod, John Lackey, in the case of 2002. This season, could it be Kyren Paris? Mm-hmm. I mean, dude, it's like, and then Ryan Jefferson, Johnson, you mentioned him. These are guys, dude, that going into thinking about spring training, none of us thought that Kyren Paris would be, that we'd all be clamoring for him to be starting. And then hell, starting wasn't good enough. Now he needs to lead off. And it's crazy, but the Angels needed that, right? Every team needs that to go deep and have a successful campaign. And we're getting it. And hell, dude, Joe Adell clubbed 2 home runs. Maybe what if he clicks? Dude, look out. The bottom of the lineup. If Joe Adell clicks with Kyren Paris hitting 7th, Joe Adell hitting 8th, I don't know who's going to hit 9th when Zach Neto is back. Yeah. That's a deep lineup.
It's the deepest I can remember. Every time any of those 9, when Neto's back, steps up there, they have the potential to go deep. They have the potential to hit it out of the ballpark. And that is something we haven't had a very long time. Usually, you've got the 1 to 4, 1 to 5, and then it's a bit of a black hole in the lineup where we know we're just waiting for it to come back around to Trouty and Ward at the top. But now it feels very different, and it feels like that lineup and the depth we have there is sustainable. Kyren Paris, you mentioned. I saw you having a bit of a conversation with Jared yesterday in terms of lineup placing. I can kind of see it both ways.
Yeah.
But for me, and I think I side with you on this, we had a couple of moments, didn't we, in the game we lost in Tampa, where if Paris had been in that 6 hole, would he have struck out? Would he have put the ball in play? Everything we've seen so far this year suggests he would have done something special and we'd have scored some runs. And is he being wasted down the lineup? And you could actually see a point, couldn't you, where put him in the 3, put him behind Mike Trout. Right, that gives Mike Trout a bit of protection. It means Paris is probably right in the middle between him and Soler. Utilize him when he's hot. When when the ball's flying off his bat, it's flying out the stadium. Let's utilize him. We know Trout's eye so far this year has been pretty good. He's been getting on base. He might not have the average up there, but he's still been taking his walks. He's still Mike Trout. He's still a threat. Pitchers don't really want to throw to him. Put Paris behind him.
Yeah, Trout leads the team in RBIs with 11. He leads the team in walks. The average is down, but dude, he's got a .568 slugging percentage. Yep. And he's starting off slow. 5 home runs, 11 RBIs, 568 slug, and he's starting slow. And so, dude, these are all positive. Taylor Ward finally broke out of it 2 days ago. And he's a guy that led the team last year. He was legitimately their best offensive player last season. And I know you're a big fan. He's come on your podcast. And my only argument with you moving Paris up, and it doesn't really matter if they're winning, I don't care, dude. You know, was that Paris has got speed. And I'm old fashioned. I like the fast guy at the top of the lineup to steal bags. And then your best hitter is hitting number 2 because they're going to get a fastball, right? Because the runner's on first base. And but Taylor Ward, dude, could easily hit third. He could easily hit after Trout, right? Yeah. So that's my whole line of thinking there. And of course, Taylor Ward is very streaky, dude. I mean, he's either just killing it or there's soft contact or whatever. So I don't know. But if this team can fire on all cylinders, man. And heck, dude, you look at the box score yesterday, Nick. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but Paris is the only one that didn't have a hit. That didn't contribute. And they scored 11 runs. And he's been their best player to date. And they scored 11 runs.
Yeah. Do you know what the best thing about this whole conversation is? That we have options, that we have this conversation, that we can talk about moving hot guys up in the lineup and mixing things up and seeing what our best combination is. Because we haven't had that. We haven't had that for a long time. Every single bit in the lineup has been penciled in because there's no other spot for them. We just know we basically had 3 or 4 hitters that could do damage, and that was it. So the fact we can even talk about this, it shows the positive nature of where we are as a team to start the year.
Yeah, dude, it's exciting. So now we got Houston and we got the Rangers, dude. So in my opinion, coming into the season, those are the 2 teams to beat. Now, granted, the Astros aren't as good. They lost Bregman, they lost Tucker, right? But they're still the team to beat. They've been, the cream of the crop in the AL West. Yeah. And the Rangers, the same thing, dude. I mean, so you got to go in this weekend and make a statement. You got to, keep the series wins, dude. Let's go. At the very least, play competitive ball to the very end, which the Angels have done to date.
I agree. And I think we're all set to go in there. There's no Hunter Brown and no Framber Valdez. They pitched the last few nights, so we missed them. We're getting the back end of the Astros rotation, who are also just not hitting. Other than Altuve, been pretty poor hitting-wise to start the year. We're coming in there on a hot streak. We've got to, as you said, start making a statement. This is a sort of series in the past where we'd go on we'd beat some teams out of the division, go into a division rival that's on paper better than us, and we'd get blown away and lose and get swept or whatever else. So this is a huge opportunity for us to go in there for a Houston team that's not really woken up yet this year, and make a statement. And I think, again, if we can just keep the series winning streak alive, just take 2 again. That's all it needs. You win 2 games in every series, you get 100 wins, right? Yeah. So,
like they did in Tampa, hitting the ball to right field with that very short porch. I'd now just hit the left field because Altuve can't field worth shit.
It's amusing to watch.
So tell me about yourself, Nick. What's going on in your neck of the woods? Your podcast. What's going on? Tell me about some cool stories in terms of your baseball fan group meetups in the UK and how you're growing not just the Angels brand in the UK, but baseball.
Yeah, it's going great. I mean, obviously we've had the London series. We had the London series before COVID and then got taken away from us, and we've had it back. We haven't got one this year, unfortunately, but there is one coming back next year. That's helping the growth of the game over here. MLB are really big on the UK market. They're really big on London. They're really big on Europe generally, and they support us. So whilst I am part of LA Angels UK, so I founded this and I tried to get Angels fans together in the UK. And actually we've just started a group chat, just trying to bring us, and anybody listening to this who wants in on the group chat, just message me. I'll send you the link. We're trying to get Angels fans together because baseball in this country is growing, but it is a niche. It's a niche sport, which means that on a day-to-day basis, I can't go outside and talk to my neighbor and ask him if he saw the game last night or what he thought about Ryan Johnson's performance. It just can't happen. So actually, it takes a bit more coordination to get people together. And that's what I've tried to do I think I started this in 2017. So over that course, just try to grow Angels baseball. And it is growing. And we are finding there are Angels fans everywhere. That's what I'm sure you see, Chuck, on the website and on the internet. There are Angels fans all over the world. And just trying to connect with them is one of the joys I have. I love speaking to Angels fans in California, but as you know, you saw probably when you went to Asia, there's Angels fans everywhere, right?
Yeah, dude, it was wild. I saw 2 Angels hats on people. I didn't have a chance to talk to them, but I was like, it was wild. But like you, I mean, I'm in Tennessee, right? I'm in Nashville, and I can't just walk outside my house and talk Angels baseball. Yeah. They don't know what the hell I'm talking about. Like, they're like, oh, how's Ohtani doing? I'm like, dude, Ohtani ain't on the Angels anymore. And so, and that's kind of the reason why, even living in Southern California back in 2003, that I decided to start angelswin.com, because just like you, I mean, I wanted to connect with fans, because even growing up at a young age in Riverside, California, nobody in my neighborhood followed the Angels. They were all following the Dodgers. Right. Mm-hmm. And so, and so I thought, gosh, man, it'd be nice to just be able to connect the fans, and then, grow some friendships, some good relationships. And dude, it just exceeded my expectations. I mean, it just grew and grew and grew. Mm-hmm. And it's just been a wild ride. It's been so fun. We're in our 21st year. And dude, we got some real, I mean, I consider some of these people my brothers and my sisters. You know what I mean? We're so close. Yeah. And I'm sure you're finding that out too, with connecting people. And so, yeah, I mean, we have a chance to bring people together no matter where they're at. Right. And I think that's great that we've been given this opportunity, and we're doing something with it,
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. And one of these days, I want to get out to one of your fan fests over spring. I know one of the UK guys, Phineas, has been over for the last 2 years.
Yeah, it's been twice.
So Phineas is a big Angels fan in the UK as well. He comes to all of our meetups. And he's been over twice. So he tells me how much fun it is. So one year I definitely need to get over there for the spring.
Yeah, for sure. And then I got to get over to I've never been to the UK ever. So I got to get over there. I've been wanting to go there. I've been wanting to go to Dublin, Ireland. So I think when I go, I'm just going to hit both of them up, at the same time.
And maybe Scotland if you want the whiskey.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I know. Jeff Stoddard, he's Scottish, so
yeah, there we go.
He's big on his Scotch.
Exactly. But then, so also apart from the Angel stuff, I'm part of MLB UK Clubhouse, which is the kind of thing that you're talking about, Chuck. I've made some incredible friends through that. Some people that I speak to every day now. Baseball fans, not just Angels fans, but baseball fans. One of my good friends in that is actually an Astros fans UK, George, and it's just brilliant to be able to have that opportunity to connect people through love of a sport. And we host watch parties in London every single month. I watched the Halos win against Chicago there this month.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so the rain game, we were watching that together with a group of about 20, 25 of us in a London bar. And that's what it's all about for me. It is that bringing baseball fans together and actually just enjoying being able to talk about the sport we love and bring new people in. And that's what we try to do. And that's what I think we've been successful doing. We've been able to, people are walking into the bar, they're seeing what we're doing, they're asking questions, what are you doing here? Who do you support? What's this? What's that? And then they take an interest. They start watching the game. They might come along to our next meetup, and it goes from there. And that's how we're trying to help out to grow the sport over there, because we're biased, but it's an incredible sport.
That's awesome that you're doing that. That's amazing. Let's switch gears. Let's switch back to the Angels just for a minute. So, looking at some of these players, I mean, I'm looking right now, dude, and Trout, Paris, and Ohapi each have 5 home runs, dude, and they're just slugging it, dude. Soler, I mean, he's starting to hit now. Ward, I'm at Adele Club 2. I mean, dude, this is just getting back to what we were talking about. I haven't seen this type of productivity from the lineup in a long time. And Neto's coming back. We talked about that. But let's highlight Paris and Ohapi for a second, because, dude, these guys, Ohapi had a tough run at the end of the season. I think it was August through a bit of September, where he was just striking out at an alarming rate. I think he was personally just gassed.
Yeah.
He wasn't taking any time off. And But he came in focused this offseason, dude, and prepared to be the leader of this team, even though Mike Trout is, that veteran presence and technically should be the leader, but Mike Trout doesn't really have those leadership type qualities. And that's no knock on Trout, right? Not everybody has those characteristics, to just take a team on its back, right? And be the vocal leader. And then I'm even hearing rumblings when I'm talking with Trent and stuff about Zach Neto being kind of the same, that vocal presence, right? But Hoppy, dude, any catcher that can slug almost 800, and on pace for 40 home runs. I mean, granted, I don't know if he's going to do that, but dude, that's amazing. And then Kyren Paris, man. I mean, if this guy can keep it up, he's going to be that one player, if not hopefully one or two more, that the Angels can just lean on this season and just be that spark plug. What are your thoughts on these two? I mean, I'm just blown away.
I am too. I'll start with Kyren Paris and go back to Hoppy. I mean, I think spark plug is exactly the word for him, and he's a difference maker to this lineup if he can continue this sort of production. And he's obviously going to regress a bit. Nobody can continue the 1,600 OPS and the tear up he's been on. But even if he just regresses and keeps hitting bombs, keeps stealing bags, like, he's basically what we thought Christian Moore would be to start the year. There's a lot of people that thought through spring maybe he gets onto the opening day roster and starts on a hot streak like Paris has. But thankfully, it means we can now keep Moore in AA. He can develop as he needs to develop, and we got this new young stud basically that's come in out of nowhere, taken his spring performances and just kept going. And I think everyone forgets with Paris, don't they? We drafted him so young. I think he was drafted at 17, and he was always seen as this toolsy guy that is going to need a lot of time, a lot of seasoning, a lot of development to get himself up to a stage where he's a baseball player. He was an athlete, and now he's a true toolsy baseball player. And I love what he's doing. And I think I said the other day, sometimes I just sit there and it blows my mind how remarkable it is to have a guy just do what he's doing straight away and to come in there. Like, it shouldn't be possible what he's doing right now on the field, but he is. And I'm just so grateful that he's a halo. And on Hoppy, I mean, I think you nailed it in terms of his leadership. You can see it, can't you? He's a guy that, again, and I think this is where we've been missing, and I don't want to use the R words, but when you compare him to Rendon, and that's the only time I'm going to say his name on the show because I want to keep the vibes high. But when you compare him to him and his hatred of baseball almost, and you got the vibe he doesn't want to be there. Hoppy's the polar opposite. You can see he loves the game, he loves learning, he loves winning, he loves everything about the sport. And I've always said Zach Neto was the same. I think Zach Neto was the leader on this team last year. You could tell he was getting things going. He had a phenomenal season, which I think went completely under the radar because of how poor the team was as a whole. But Zach Neto doing what he did last year, 2020 year, in his very early on in his major league career was pretty impressive. So really, really like those young guys. I think Hoppy tired, as you said last year, and I think he'll probably tire again this year if we don't manage him. But it's now you've got Travis d'Arnaud in there. You've got to hope that Ron, as a veteran manager, can see that when Hoppy starts going onto these slumps. All right, let's take him out the firing line for a little bit. Let's give him a couple of days off, let him regroup and come back, and he'll go again because he is an extremely talented ball player.
And Ron has actually done that, right? Because after they took the series win against Cleveland, they had a day off. And then that first game in Tampa, you'd think, okay, well, Hoppy had a day off. Let's get him in there. No, it was Travis d'Arnaud. So, I mean, that's good management of Hoppy, And so I think he knows that, if for Hoppy to play at a high level, he does need his rest. But you're not sacrificing a lot by putting Travis in there in his place, where in the past you had Matt Thaiss, and he wasn't a really good defensive catcher at all. Streaky hitter. And so, and dude, Kyren Paris, dude, when I interviewed him at Rocket City 2 years ago, which was wild, dude, I interviewed Kyren Paris, Ben Joyce, Logan O'Hoppy, Zach Neto, Chase Silseth, Sam Bachman, and there's a few more too. But all of them made it to the big, the big.
Yeah, I remember watching these at the time. They've all gone on and kicked on.
Yeah. And I remember from that interview with Paris, I asked him, so who were your players growing up? Who were some players growing up that you kind of try to model your game after, and your favorites? And he said Ricky Henderson. And dude, I mean, when he said Ricky Henderson is my all-time favorite player. I mean, just I love guys that get on base, can hit for some power, but steal bases, create havoc on the bases. And dude, I mean, the Angels haven't had that since Sean Figgins. And then way before that, in Devon White, maybe Chad Curtis. And those are the kind of guys that I like growing up. Guys that get on base from the leadoff spot and steal bags. And he said that he, model his game. He loves to steal bases. And I love to hear that. And he said his other player was Derek Jeter, the captain.
Yeah.
So you take those two players, dude. Yeah. And then I'm just thinking, if we just got a little bit of Ricky and a little bit of Jeter and Kyren Paris, holy smokes, man, we're set.
That's what we're seeing to start the year.
I know, and that's exactly what we're seeing. And for our listeners, no, we're not saying that Kyren Paris is the next Ricky Henderson and Derek Jeter. I'm just saying that him looking up to those guys as role models and aspiring to be as talented as them and modeling his game after them. I mean, dude, those are two greats.
I was gonna say, speak for yourself, Chuck. I'm saying he is. He's going to the top.
I'll take it.
Excellent. Yeah.
And so, but yeah, man, good vibes all around. Nick, any closing thoughts? Anything else that we haven't covered, man? It's been all but good vibes. We got Tim Anderson even, who isn't really hitting much, but he's playing great defense. We haven't had you just look at this roster, man, and it's just, you got guys that can do their part, right? And do it well.
Yeah, and I'll be interested to see what Perry does with the roster when Zach Neto comes back. Because at the moment, the bench is quite lopsided. And I think that's one area we're probably going to need to look at, just to see if we can balance it out a bit. Because I feel like Nicky Lopez probably isn't going to be around very long.
True. Yeah.
Newman's the one who struggled massively, but he's on a 2-year contract and we paid him a bit of money.
Right.
I don't think they're going to want to cut ties with him so early on. Then you've got to look at Tim Anderson, don't you? Who, as you said, hasn't really been hitting, but has started contributing in the last few games. Really good defensively. As a shortstop, as a backup shortstop, he's the best one on the roster there.
Right.
When Neto comes back, I don't know whether he's going to go, but it's big calls. And Joe Adele, you touched on him earlier. He's the one I'm going to put out there because we've been so positive. I've got to bring it down slightly. I've never been convinced by Joe Adele. I don't think I ever will be convinced by Joe Adele. I just kind of think at this point he is who he is. On a good team, that's not good enough. Right now for the Halos, last year it was fine. We needed to give him a year of development. To start this year, there's not an obvious replacement. Maybe Lugo comes up at some point. But right now, fine. Let him have his at-bats and see how he does. But I think as the season progresses, and if this Halos team is doing what we want it to do, he may be one where we'd have to look at other options. But let's see. I hope I'm wrong. I've always wanted Joe Adele to prove me wrong. I mean, I think we all like him. We all want him to be the star that he was supposed to be coming through the system. But let's see.
Yeah. I mean, at least he's playing good defense, right? I mean, that's one thing. If he can hit home runs, dude, if he could just hit home runs and play good defense, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'll take it. But it is interesting that they are playing Lugo in center field in AAA. Mm-hmm. So maybe that's hey, this is our contingency plan. If Adele just can't hit, I mean, we got a guy in Lugo who's shown he can hit through the minors, and he's shown in spring training he can hit as well. Again, that goes back to what we talked about earlier, the depth. We haven't had this type of depth. And so it's good to see. Are you coming back to California this year?
I'm hoping so. I haven't got anything booked yet, but the plan is to try and get out in the summer sometime because wasn't able to make it out last year. And to be honest, didn't really want to come out last year with the way the team was playing.
Yeah.
When the vibes are this high, it would be a shame not to get over there. So fingers crossed, maybe June, maybe July.
Okay. Yeah, I'm actually thinking like September-ish, like late August, September, which
And then back again for October, of course, for the playoffs.
yeah, then you have to come back,
Then
right?
you have to, right? Yeah, exactly.
So, well, good stuff. Any closing thoughts? Anything that, maybe we didn't cover? I mean, dude, there's just so many good things to talk about. And it's like, we're not used to this, dude. One thing I will say is for all you fans that saying, hey, slow it down, I don't, let's see how they do over the course of a full season. I call bullshit. I mean, let us enjoy this.
Yes.
Let the fans enjoy this. Mike Scioscia's old mantra, one game at a time. Well, for fans, let us enjoy this one game at a time because they are playing really well. And I'm sorry, you're not going to take that from me. And don't give me this stuff, oh, you're going to jinx them. The hell with that shit.
Couldn't agree more. And that's exactly what I was going to say as well. We all know what's happened in the past. We all know what the past decade's been. We all know how Halo's teams have started sometimes or whatever. Who cares? Just enjoy the team we're putting on the field. Enjoy the fun. Enjoy the vibes. Enjoy the product we've been given. The home runs, the stolen bases, just the clutch hits, the pitching. Just enjoy it all. Enjoy Kenley Jansen's save. Enjoy 6 home runs in a game.
Yeah.
These are good times right now to be a Halos fan. The season's just started. The sun is shining here in the UK, which is rare. So I'm loving it. Everyone else should be loving it. And let's go into Texas and keep this going. Keep the momentum.
Let's do it. And with that, Nick, you got any more left in your
I have.
beer? All right. Well, here's to an Angels successful trip to Texas and showing them who's boss.
Absolutely. Go Halos. Cheers.
Cheers. For Chuck Richter and Nick Wright, this has been the Angels Win podcast, and let's go get them. Go Halos.
Thanks for listening to the AngelsWin.com podcast with Chuck Richter. Until next time, go Halos.
Say goodbye.